Why, hello, hi, it is me, it is I. Small town Didi, your Khadian DJ over internet and Akastracha and Bakalau Yala. I have no idea where my intro came from. I say yalla all the time, and I think when I just turned on the camera and I decided that I want to talk to people on the internet, this is just like my way of getting comfortable, and then it's stuck. It's late, it's after midnight, but lawyer. And then we're gonna be like, I don't know where they got that. But why is it that every time it's late, I feel like I want to be misproductive? But I've consumed enough around the topic and I feel, and I'm gonna miss some parts because I had a lot going on, so I had to tune it out. But then it kept coming up and I kept seeing good takes from people whose content I appreciate. So I decided to go and look for myself. Nara Smith and our very own Onezwa. I've been following her on Instagram. I just followed her on TikTok. Like she never came up on my TikTok. But all of this, she's now back. I didn't even know she was on there, but I've been consuming her on Instagram for, oh my God, I think she's just gorgeous. I think she's brilliant, obviously, and all, but I didn't discover her when the salt thing happened and she went viral 3 years ago. I think I probably got to know her sometime last year, and I can't even remember what the video was, but I remember being so enamored. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, there's a person who's sharing this kind of content. We know people live these lives in our country, but for it to be packaged in content to consume in that manner. Because I'm the type of person who watches a lot of DIYs, a lot of homesteading and all of that stuff. But it's so far removed from my reality that when I found her, it felt so good and it felt like home. I wouldn't say attainable for reasons that I will get into along the way, but it felt rooted in reality, a reality that I can identify with. One of my favorite YouTubers on here is McKenna of XO McKenna, and I follow both her channels, her vlog channel, XO McKenna Vlogs, and also her uh, main channel, which is just XO McKenna. And I found her when she started doing the remodeling on a cottage. She's an American content creator. A cottage, a property that she acquired. I don't know if it's with her partner or just, but anyway, in Texas somewhere. And it was an old cottage, and she did a lot of the, if not like really so much of the remodeling, she did herself. And I found her content like really when she had just got that property, so around lockdown. But in as much as I enjoy a person like that and seeing all the amazing stuff they can do, they're so far removed from my reality that I'm like, it's content for the sake of it. And I'm proud of her and I like all of that and stuff. But like, I prefer, who's this lady? If I think I'll get her thing and then I'll put it here. You guys can see that kind of content. I just, I eat it up. I eat it up so bad. This particular lady I'm talking about is from my province, and she does like sort of like slow living and like homemaking in a very realistic South African lens. And it's the stuff that I like, because when I say things like I want authentic, I want something that feels real, I don't want something that feels forced. Unlike you bitches, I actually mean it. Okay. Onezwa's content for what happened. Onezwa basically said that she has been posting for years. We as South African content creators, I don't even know what in this regard, I'm just talking to you guys, but in my professional capacity, I would say I'm a content creator with the work that I do on TikTok and Instagram, my actual work, right? We don't see the returns. And I feel like we're too relaxed. There's no pressure as well of people saying, you know what, let's try to figure out a way for these platforms to pay us so we can have viable online careers like other people as well. And so we're experiencing a lot of virality, a lot of popularity, but it does not translate into money, and it's disheartening. Right? Because even if you have to rely on brands to make any money, I'm going to play this video of Onezwa, and then we're going to come back and we'll have more chats about it.
For months now, I have watched a very, very popular content creator use my ideas. And again, I'm not the first person to do anything. They have continuously used my ideas to get views. Now, that would be fine, except in South Africa, we don't get paid for views. And where she is, they get paid for views. So she has been making money off stealing my content. I always managed to change the videos just enough so that I cannot say that they are my ideas. And when I took a break from content creation recently, she then went and moved on to my YouTube and started using ideas from my YouTube. So I have kept quiet for months at a time, just venting to my boyfriend and to my friends, and they've all told me, just let it go, because you are going to be dragged by her mob of followers and you'll get cancelled. And so I've kept quiet. And recently I made a boba tea. We all saw it, we all loved it, and I was so very, 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 very proud of that video. I tweeted about it, I was so excited for it, and then a day later she made a boba video. And you might say it may be a coincidence. That would be fine if it was a coincidence, except it's a coincidence that happens very often. So is it really a coincidence? I am very disheartened. I am very disheartened because she's making thousands of dollars in views, and I am lucky to get a brand collaboration every 3 months.
Somebody was like, I can't be on Onezwa's side because it sounds like it's just about money. And then people are like, oh, those aren't her recipes anyway. Did she invent this and did she invent that? And Nara isn't copying her, and this is happening, and all of this, all of which she's like, the disclaimers are there. But she's just saying it feels like when I put this out, she takes it and then she does a little spin on it and puts a little like, it's repackaged in the right package, and there's so much to unpack there, and therefore it's easily consumed and digestible and easy for people to ignore that, maybe because she's now amassed this huge platform. If she is to be inspired by other creators, smaller creators, should it not be, that's a conversation, right? Does she not have some kind of responsibility to say, I saw this content creator, tag or stitch them and boost them in some way, if that is in actual fact, if you're drawing a lot of inspiration from them. But I think in this instance, it wouldn't work, because how many times would she have to reference the same person before we say, oh, now you're just copying a content? It's one thing for me to say, I like this thing that DD1 did here, and so I'm going to try it. And then next week, I'm like, I like this thing that DD4 did here, and I'm trying it. But in this instance, she's going to have to come back every week and say, Onezwa. But it's going to get weird. And it's layered. And even if you don't want to talk about whether or not she is stealing the content and doing a little repurposing and a little switcheroo on it and sprinkling some cute shit on it and making it like it's not that. If that's not the conversation that we want to have, even though I think that is an important conversation to still have in terms of like, what do you own online when you put it out? Can somebody take it and do something with it? I hate a lot of reaction videos, me personally, because I feel like it allows non-creative people or people who just want to be lazy to take somebody else's thoughts or somebody's work and be at the corner of the screen going, we already heard what the fuck she said. What's your take, bitch? Kimberly got in trouble with people for this last year sometime. Some lady who would just sit at the bottom of the screen and chew something like while the video plays. You haven't done enough to rework that content into your own. You did no work. You stood in the corner and you chewed, and everybody, Kimberly Nicole Foster, and everybody was trying to say to her, oh, but you're such a feminist and you say this. It's like, no, being a feminist doesn't mean you get to take like my intellectual, like these are my thoughts. This is how I make my money. And then you put it on your monetized channel, and then all you've done is sit in the corner and chew. Now, that's the conversation where I feel like it creates an interesting conversation. But back to this, like, very, very specific thing. I don't resonate with Nara. I don't. And there are people around me who resonate with her content. Nara's content to me reads as like mommy guilt porn. To me, Nara is not selling a healthy lifestyle or a cook from scratch. She's selling, and I'm saying to me, and this isn't just my take, when I've seen other critics online give their take on her content and what it's saying, especially if they're white. There's some of you black women who come out of the woodworks and you say things like, oh, these white women are just not used to seeing a woman of color in these spaces. You all want to do yourself a favor and not come like to the aid of women like Meghan Markle and the likes of this Nara person because they've got some pigment in them when their politic does not align with yours. Culturally, Nara is white to me. I don't give a shit about like, her mom being this black person, her dad being German. She says nothing about being black. She doesn't speak to it. Like, she's culturally white. She's married a white man. They've made these kids that are mostly white and they're living their nice white life. That's why it doesn't resonate with me. She's so far removed from like what I exist. It's not aspirational. There is nothing about it that I look at and I'm like, in fact, it took a bit for me to realize what are so off-putting. It's not even that it doesn't resonate. There was a discomfort for me there. And everybody's like, oh, if you're uncomfortable, it's just because no. I was uncomfortable. And when I sat and peeled back the layers and I listened to the other critiques that people were giving, I realized that was the actual problem. It's the mom guilt stuff. It's the branding of this is the thing you do if you want to be a good mom. When I listen to the people around me talk about her, the influence she seems to have on them is shit like seeped in consumerism, obviously. Like, they want to buy this and present a certain way and do this because check, that's how you become a good wife, and check, that's how you present like as a good mom, because it's like, if you make this bread from scratch, this is how you become a good mom, right? And it takes like social media literacy, like a media, like, and I feel like we don't have it because all of this is new to us. It takes a bit for a person to sit back and go, what is actually being sold here? Onezwa is selling us sustainability. She's literally showing us that you can do without the big chain store. It's coming out of need for her. There's a video where she drives into town and it's literally a day trip, the entire mission, for her to go into town and get the supplies that she needs. So she's like, essentially, I live this way because I have to. I live in such a remote town and stuff. But she's showing us that it's doable. When we talk about wanting to get the land back, this is what we want. We want to be able to live off the land. Nara is saying, I'm making this from scratch, and she's making sure to present in a very particular way that is geared at like, I don't know, feeding the patriarchal lens, feeding the male gaze, if you would like. Nobody is existing in their kitchen like that. Okay, that's some scripted shit from like Mad Men that like these trad wives and everybody's trying to sell us. And literally anybody who critiques like the ballerina farm girl, the other girls who are on here doing this trad wife kind of literally cosplaying as like housewives and what it really takes, and making like being in the kitchen is this like, I like to cook for my loved ones, or I did. I don't cook for my people as much anymore. It's drained the fucking like life out of me. Not the cooking itself, but my job, because it involves me being in a kitchen. When I'm done doing my job, I don't want to go stand at a stove and cook for people I love simply because that's what I want to do, right? Because it's grueling work. Like, not to sound dramatic, like you're working in like the coal mines or anything like that, but like, it's not, this does not do us a service. There's something about watching Onezwa cook where you understand that this is laborious and it's planned for and it's planned ahead, and you plant in season and you harvest. You plant when you're supposed to and you harvest when the season. It's it doesn't just happen. It's farm to table in its most basic form that you find appealing when it's on the Food Network and it's some man in Australia in an accent. You find it aspirational then that he went into his garden. Or when the other homesteading girlies do their little videos on Instagram, but they're not South African, right? And the context is in Eastern Cape, and it's not this girl just like in her loungewear chilling as you fucking do. No. You all are on the internet defending this woman who, this is clearly a set. It's a home, but it's a set. She wakes up, she does her makeup, like I put on lip liner to come and sit here and talk to you. It's inauthentic. And you guys want to sell me we just love our Queen Nara and we just wada. Your the draw for Nara's content for you is something you actually need to sit with and peel back. When I talk about the palatable black, it's not just to like have the white people at ease. It's to have you fucking like weird blacks looking at something to aspire to that you could never be. Live vicariously through her. You want a white husband. You want her otherliness. Right? That's what you are rooting for. It's not the fucking recipes. She's not the first person to make Oreos from scratch. It's actually not this. A lot of it is also embarrassing. Some of the stuff that you guys are like going goo goo gaga for. I'm like, oh, your diet really does consist of sparkle, ne? Like because you cannot be googing and gogging over fucking everything. Truly, you cannot be. A lot of you, are you asking if the shit tastes good? No, because it's not important. Why? It's not about the recipe. It's the entire thing. You are very much, you're interested in this woman for her whole thing. And part of it is making you feel bad about what it is that you aren't and can never be because you don't got a fucking white daddy, you dumb bitch. Like, I don't know how else to explain this. You're not going to be Nara, right? You are out here trying, like, there's a guy, and I think he said he's Venda. So I'm just like, Venda from where? Like, where about? Where were you raised? Because for you to be like a Venda man, to get on the internet and say, I don't think Nara is watching some girl milk a goat.
I'm sorry, I am Team Nara Smith. I refuse to believe it. I refuse. You guys are not going to come for my fave without any solid evidence. I don't believe that Nara Smith is stealing from that girl. I may be wrong and you can come back to this video and drag me, but for now, I'm Team Nara Smith all the way. And if she is stealing, I'm gonna need her to steal more content because she does it so well. I honestly feel like it's just a coincidence. I don't think Nara Smith is out here watching a girl milking a goat. Or maybe, I'm just being judgmental, but I'm sorry, I am Team Nara Smith.
That's why that's why you voted the way you guys voted. Your concept of wealth is backward. Not a fucking wish she had that. Because then you guys would clap hands. Because why? This otherly black, right? This like the kind of black that they want us to be and we can never be, but we can say we're her, right? We can say, look, what's her hair? If she had a goat, you all would be talking about it like it's the best thing you've ever seen. Oh, Nara milks her own fucking goat. But it's Onezwa doing it. And it's like, I don't think Nara, and you could never be. She's baking in Chanel. I don't have they shit polyester at this point anyway. Like, what are you talking about? Who even exists in the kitchen looking like that? Like, honestly, Nara is such a study, right? The draw for white women, or the draw that is like biracial, non-black women who are non-white, like, exotics. At some point, we should speak about what is our obsession with the Zendayas, the Meghan Markles, and the fucking Naras? Why we take up for these people? Zendaya should actually be left alone. These fucking two have weird little politics. Now, Meghan needed to be defended in parts because those fucking whites were just being fucking unrealistic. But here is this woman who's possibly Mormon. I saw pictures of her posing with the Book of Mormon or whatever it is it's called, and but at some parts she says she's not practicing, and in this parts she's saying this. Precious is a Precious Coffee. What is her certain? How do you say that? The one who was on that program, Precious Africa. Did she not go into this faith eons and eons ago? Okay, and she's been back in South Africa. I think she divorced 2018 or something like that, trying to rebuild her life and get derailed her whole life for a man, a white man in this faith. And she's come back and Elena Suona Maimomeli. Like, honestly. And not in a bad way, not in a body shaming way, but it's like, you were that bitch. You were truly that bitch. And you left your life for this faith that Nara is apparently, allegedly also a part of. And you don't see it. It's sneaky like that. Because your buy-in into this lifestyle is to coach you into eventually saying, oh, when you buy into the entire lifestyle, it's a pitch for the entire thing. I don't know how you guys aren't seeing it. Before you know it, even you want to know about this little faith and what it's really about because you think you're going to get to have her life. You're not skinny. You're not tall. You're not biracial. You don't get to have her fucking life. It comes with all those other things. Some of the recipes look whack. Some of that shit doesn't look nice. Some of she did the strawberry one where it's like basically, like a icing sugar glaze that you would do on a donut. I fucking hate that glaze. And she's like, she doesn't like chocolate dipped strawberries and eat the strawberries as they are. So she just likes to do, what the fuck was that? And you all were just like, oh, Nara, Queen Nara. And it's like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The white worship is getting out of fucking hand. That woman is far removed from you. And there's nothing original about what she's doing. You like the look of her while she's doing this performance that also makes you feel bad about yourself. That's the gist of it. That is it. Guys, somebody literally posted, and she's wearing these like baby dolly kind of dresses. And if I find the TikTok, I'll add it here. It's in these it's in this video where I saw the comment where somebody's like, she's cooking in Chanel like it's supposed to mean something. You're telling on yourselves, you guys. You are literally telling on yourselves, and you're making me understand how we ended up with the election outcome that we ended up with. It's embarrassing to be in community as an accident of my fucking birth, to be in community with you guys. It's just so embarrassing for me. Your lens is so fucked that you don't know wealth when you see it. You wish you had what Onezwa. You wish you had that kind of land that can produce like that. And that keeping all of that stuff going, it's actually cuck expensive. It is. And that's aspirational. That's what you want to be doing. That's health. But again, right, she's also a big boned girl. So she's not the picture of health in your mind. When Nara to me is like the Kardashians, the guilt stuff, the stuff like you buy into them because their existence makes you feel bad about yourself in a way, but they're not being very truthful about, first of all, what it is they're selling. These fucking white women got to like buy the body that is typically associated with us, lie about it, repackage it and sell it back to us, and we consumed it. Today, this other white woman, or closer to being white, this biracial white woman, is like, our mothers did this. Our grandmothers had no choice. Cooking from scratch has become a novelty because we've bought so much into like being Western. That's why it's embarrassing, some of the stuff that we like gawk at and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe this was actually made from scratch. And yeah, your grandmother made a lot from scratch. She did. Your lens of appreciation from the things that are made from scratch from your own culture is so distraught that you can't receive it with the same kind of appreciation. But when Nara is doing it all the way over there in her pretty kitchen, not a thing out of place, right? The aesthetics always, because it's a set, bitch. Her makeup, not a hair out of place. She's wearing a dress. There's no apron. There's no headscarf. But we know that's how you're supposed to be in a kitchen. Just for hygiene, really. And for keeping your nice clothes clean. But no, this is a fucking shoot. She's at work and she's making content. And she's trying to convince you that actually this recipe turns out right if you're wearing this exact dress. She has the bitches in such a tizzy. Patricia Bright, whom I enjoy, did a couple of reels on Instagram doing it. And people called her out on it, and people wanted to defend her. Right? People are like, oh no, she's always cooked for her family. Did she do it in this aesthetic? Nobody cooks in a white dress. Nobody's making Yorkshire pudding in a white little milkmaid dress, showing just the right amount of cleavage, but still being conservative enough that the boys are not going to call you a whore or some shit like that. Nobody is doing that. If that's how you know it's purely for money, because Patricia likes to make money. We love that about Patricia. But this was so embarrassing and cringe for me when I saw her do it. I was like, whoa, girl, like your shit is not stuck. Right? Just give us more of the fashions. It's okay. Give us more of the makeup. Talk to us. I like the break platform that you have on YouTube. What, guys? I can't believe she kept those reels up. I cannot believe it. When I'm in my kitchen, I look like Onezwa, I do. But my shit actually looks and tastes like you don't have to wonder. If that cereal that everybody's going on and on about, come on now. Come the fuck on. But that's the gist of that. You need to sit and interrogate what it is exactly you're liking about Nora. Ask why and why and why and why. I tell you guys that all the time. What you think you are actually going up for, and it's uncomfortable. That's why you don't want to do it. I don't understand what resonance have you guys found in this woman's content who is so far removed from like your fucking existence. Now, guys, in terms of whether or not she's copying the content, because I realize we want to dwell on that a little bit, and I've decided to come back and add on that. Nara definitely did study Onezwa, especially with the voice thing. The switch up in the voice thing, oh, that to me, I was like, And no, Onezwa is not claiming that she's the first person to have made this or the first person to have made that. I don't think that's like she said that in the video. I think you all heard what you wanted to hear. I think I'm very disappointed in how we've decided, like, as South African women, to attack this real South African woman. The fact that that other one was born here and blah 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 blah, like whatever, is great. And for those people who feel like I enjoy both people, sure, you should be able to consume whomever it is that, like, whichever content you want to watch online. And I'm in no way suggesting that choose. I'm saying for me, there's no resonance with Nara, and there hasn't been. And I stated the reasons, or it's just no. It's not real for me. It's not. But I don't know if she's putting it out there for it to come across as real, or if she wants it to be consumed as content, but I feel like Onezwa has a point, like, and to disregard it completely altogether and say, I watched this and I watched that and I don't see it. You don't want to see it. Like, you're already going there with your biases in check. Like, you're already going to watch and you're looking for the Chanel dress, right? And you don't have or you probably do, but again, your biases, right? Like, your lenses, you're looking for a very particular thing. You can't see when somebody has copied the homework but like used a different font, right? Your lens is not quite that. So you're expecting a very copy and paste kind of thing in order for you to understand what is being said. I think what has really gotten to Onezwa more than anything is you guys coming into the comments and comparing her to this person whom it's like, not only are you comparing me to this person, but this person puts out content making a similar item that I've just made after I've put out that content. And you guys come, and she's asked time and time again. Let's have a look at this.
The village that I grew up in and still live in is very remote, and because of this, we've always grown our own food and cooked everything from scratch. It's all I've ever known. So when I decided to start my food pages on Instagram and YouTube in 2019, my focus was preparing food the way that I was taught, from scratch. And I have been very consistent in that regard. I'm new to posting consistently on this app, and I didn't find being likened to a content creator with a huge following offensive, because I figured that's who people associate cooking from scratch with on this app. I believed it would stop eventually, and my content would be associated with me because it is different. What I did not expect is having my content and efforts undermined by insinuations that I'm inspired or get content ideas from said content creator. Neither Nara Smith nor I are the first people to make mozzarella from scratch on this app. And more so, videos have timestamps or date stamps for a reason. My video where I milked a cow to make mozzarella for pizza was posted a full day before Nara Smith's video. And unless you think I might have mastered the art of time travel, I don't see how I could have been inspired by something that did not exist. I also made homemade lasagna 2 years ago on YouTube. It's a very informative video. I suggest you go and watch it. I don't need to steal content. I don't need to steal content ideas because I'm not cosplaying being anything. I'm simply sharing who I am, a village girl who cooks food inspired by the things around me. There are many cooks on this app who make everything from scratch, but it seems the treatment of being reduced to another Nara Smith is reserved just for me. And I have to wonder why that is, especially since those comments, or a majority of those comments, are coming from South Africans. Now, you can continue to disrespect me and my content. That's up to you. But let's get one thing clear. The content is not going away. To the people who've cooked with me over the past 5 years, we created this peaceful space for us. Do not let yourself be riled up by people that want to troll your space. This is our space, and I appreciate you always. I'm not a version of anybody. I am Onezwa, and I make meals using items that I've grown, raised, or foraged.
Stop it. Stop going into people's comment sections and calling them the black this, or you're the this of South Africa, or you are taking away from that person's integrity in terms of their creativity. You're taking away their contribution, right? By saying that they are some kind of dupe, some kind of version of this person. And in this instance, it's especially disgusting because she came on first. She does it better. She just doesn't have the look that you want to emulate, which is crazy because she's fucking gorgeous, right? So because of that, that other person has blown up, and we've now decided that this is this person. It's the other way around, guys. It actually is the other way around. None of them are the first, like Martha Stewart or B. Smith. Like, none of them are the first any of those people. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Like, it's not fair what you guys have done to this girl, and maybe we should own that as well, and not say things like, "Oh, this." I don't think it would have like got to this point if it wasn't the constant comparison, because that is the thing that stole her joy. That you guys keep like reducing her to being a copycat and a version of this person who's in actual fact trying to be her. I found the comment where the person is talking about the runway and being in couture or like Chanel, whatever. They don't want you wearing their stuff. You fucking kafirs aren't who they're thinking about when they make the stuff. They don't even want you wearing these items that you all, according to David Lale, are wrapped around Diamond Walk waiting for your turn to get in to purchase some of these mixed fabric items, because they don't even make them from natural like fabrics anymore. So they're watching they shit anyway, and you're sitting here talking about how she's not this and she's not that, and now like the unshackling you all have to do in terms of your mentality is not gonna happen in time. That's how the DA is gonna win. That white savior, you guys, proximity to whiteness, yale dronka, like you want it. You will buy it. You will take your lost money. You will take your rough money. You will take your deceased parents' money to go and give it back to this community of people who don't want to sit next to you, and then use it as a dig at another person who doesn't wear these kinds of things. Like, so me cooking in like regular clothes, like as you do, because it doesn't affect how the food turns out, clearly, fucking clearly, that's your dig. So then that's what I'm saying. Can we be honest as to what do you guys think you're buying from Nara? I outside all of this, who's stealing whose content, I want us to just try to let's figure out, how does this happen? Yes, she looks the way she, what exactly are you liking? It's really important that you ask yourself that, and then you be honest with yourself about that. This is your dig? Bruh. Aye. And then they say, we try to make everything deep. Somebody said, this guy said, she must steal more content if that's the case because she's doing it so well. Can you imagine somebody saying that about your work? That it's okay if another person copies your stuff because they like the way that person presents it better? Can you imagine that shit? Oh my God. Yo. You know, ignorance is bliss is like when you hear that phrase, you take it for granted because you don't fully understand, né? But like being immersed in certain things just makes life hard. Knowing stuff, or not even just knowing, because a lot of people know, but like accepting stuff about our realities and the constructs that we exist in is a very, very difficult thing. In a video that I haven't shared yet, because I'm rambling, like I uploaded it, but I didn't make it public. I'm just rambling. There's a part in that video where I tell you guys that as a person who exists in a kitchen online, I've struggled in terms of when I first started my business, I wanted it to be its own entity. I don't have my name in it, nothing. I really wanted it to have its own personality, to be a brand on its own, existing outside of me. But having to use online spaces to drive traffic and get sales in, and trying to carve out a niche for yourself as a content creator within the food space and stuff, you're having to show more of your face. And I said in that video, I often wonder if the look of me hurts me more than it helps me. And as much as they say people want that personable feel lately, so just posting your work, even if it's good, or even if the video quality is good of your work, won't do as well as you, because that parasocial thing now clearly is not reliant on whether or not the recipes are good, clearly, or the execution of the recipes are good, clearly. It's about the people buying into you, me, Didi, person, and then the thing I'm making second, right? Like if they like me, their biases will decide that what I'm making is actually good enough and it's perfect. I wonder if the look of me hurts me. I feel that way, and I'm I think I've told you guys that I've had to clear my personal TikTok because I can't exist as both people on TikTok. It's not going to work out properly. So I think I've actually been farewell for real this time. But like, you see, discourse like this makes me want to go back and be like, and start shit. But it won't work. It won't work anymore. I can't exist as both people online. I feel like I might get away with it here on YouTube. But like, I feel like that. I told you guys, somebody came on here when I was having one of my toughest times. The mentor was really fucked at that time. And I managed to get a video out to you guys. I think I was talking about Miss EXO crying and another girl was crying about loneliness or whatever. And somebody's takeaway from that video was how not put together I was. And how they almost clicked off because I had a robe on in the video. Now, that's why I say the barriers to entry are many. I say this all of the time. So now she's already her Onezwa's quality, her picture quality, everything is so great. She must now also be pushed into performing. It's like, I understand it's still entertainment, but it's a reality kind of entertainment. Along with worrying about camera angles, what be mulong, first of all, right? Like she's cooking on a fire. You guys want her to be what? Like carrying a train out there in her finest silks. Like, what is this expectation now? What is this? And then you guys, when people are asking you, what kind of content are you guys? We want real. We're so tired of this fake shit. South African influencers are so fake. And you all have these little weird things that you do. We know you don't buy things from there. That's not who we are as South Africans. So the girls can't win. The girls can't win with you guys. Here's somebody giving you not just realness, but realness that you can't afford. See, a lot of your delusional thinking, you can attain this. Okay, there you are, little Didi in your fucking township, and your diet consists of, like, I don't know, whatever you can buy from my friend's shop around the corner. You're over there eating like counterfeit bread. Bitch, you are eating a Barney dupe. Okay? From my friend's shop around the corner, and you have the nerve to sit on the internet and try to talk some shit about this woman making her bread for her family and her kid from scratch. Talking about how, oh, the other one's making bread, but at least she's doing it in this and that. Really? You, in your like little outfit, you want to talk about lies. Mwah,